Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. In this episode, we're going to go through Dragon Roost Cavern. This entire video is pretty much the entire dungeon, also, with the exception of the boss fight, which I'm going to split off into its own separate video. I breezed through this dungeon fairly quickly in about 20 minutes, so it's not too bad. I figured I would just go ahead and combine them together. Now, this is one of my favorite dungeons in the Zelda series. I just kind of like the overall design and feel of it. It's not particularly a hard or challenging dungeon by any means, and it is the first dungeon in the game, so it would make sense for it not to be too difficult. But I really do just enjoy it and think it's a nice, great introduction to the game and getting you into the puzzle solving mood for future temples. Anyways, right from the bat, we're going to get ourselves a small key, different from Ocarina of Time, where in that game it took several dungeons before you actually got a small key, and it kind of worked your way up. This one, you get them, well, in the first room of the dungeon, essentially. So, this is a fire-themed temple. We break into pattern. We're going to do fire before forest. So for now, we're going to ignore this locked door and just work our way around and go this way. If you don't remember, we're going in here to try and find out what's up with the Great Valoon. Why is he all crazy, acting weird, and not letting any of the Ritos get near him? Because they need to get one of his scales to grow their wings and learn how to fly, otherwise they're useless. So, we're gonna work our way to do that. There's not anything special in this dungeon. There's no extra heart pieces or any real side quests that you can do in the dungeon, so it's pretty straightforward. There are a couple of small items, mostly joy pendants and that kind of stuff, which I'll get a couple of them. I'm going to ignore some, but I'll point them out when I go past them, and I do. Now if you ever see these faces, just go ahead and throw them and they make the lava cool down. We can jump on them. You don't need that second one there. You can actually jump straight from the first one to the second area of land. But I went ahead through a second one just to be sure, because I really don't feel like getting burned. So always just use another one to get back. If you end up messing up and you miss with all of them, you can just jump into lava and take you back to the room, and it will make the pots regrow. Now, there's a choo-choo up there, red choo-choo. If you aren't careful and you climb up, he'll smack you right away and just knock you right back down, which can be highly aggravating. So I'm going to suggest you wait for him to get to the edge and sort of get ready to jump off before you climb up. Another great thing about this dungeon and the Wind Waker in general is you will often use enemy weapons. I mean, we did that in the Forsaken Fortress when we were without a weapon, and you can do that here. You actually need to use Zokoblin's bigger kind of sword here to break these thicker wooden planks that are blocking our way in. What's nice about the enemy weapons, you can also throw them, which we'll be using. We'll be doing that later in a pretty creative way. So it's a great addition to the Wind Waker that really adds some extra gameplay elements and makes sure that you are kind of paying attention to what's going on. Alright, so head down this way. I'm going to leave those choo-choos behind. Now that we have that small key, we can get in that door I showed you guys earlier. So what you need to do is throw something at these. I don't know if a pot will work. I'm guessing not, so I'm going to try one of these rocks. And you just throw it at the bomb flower, make it blow up, and destroy that boulder. Kind of want to hit the tip of it, the fuse-ish, though it's not overly picky. And you have like 4 or 5 rocks to try. If you mess up, just exit the room and do it again. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and head this way. Now there's no real mini-boss to this dungeon. There was like a little mini-boss section. I wouldn't really call it a mini-boss. It's more just killing some regular enemies. But it's fairly close to the end of the dungeon as well, which makes me hesitant to say it's a mini-boss. But wait, let's kill this guy. Yeah, let's leave him. Maybe if he wants to leave me alone, I'll leave him. All I want to do is stand on this button. He won't leave me alone. Alright, there we go. Again, we have to use an enemy weapon to light a fire and work our way through. So let's go ahead and just kill this guy. We're gonna go ahead. I also love how several of the dungeons have outside portions. I like walking out of the dungeon, being reminded that where we are, being here on Dragon Roost Island. I'm just gonna use this. Great timing, just fly straight up. Timing definitely is key here. You don't want to like rush or just not pay attention, otherwise you'll get like cooked from this lava. I think it's incredibly, I don't want to say beautiful, but just the graphics are gorgeous here. I love these effects with the lava flow and everything spurting out. So I love these outside portions. And then thankfully there's a couple more before the end of this dungeon. So, alright. I mean, this again, these areas where we sidle and like work our way around by doing this, it's just shows more ways that the Wind Waker took the Zelda series in a like new direction with some new gameplay features. I mean, you never did this in any of the other games, and it kind of shows his, I don't want to say sneaky side, but kind of like athletic side. It's not just killing enemies and using weapons. Got a bunch of cool things going on with this. Okay, so this room, there's a couple different things you can do. If you pull away at the bottom, there is a hole that you can go in and get yourself some rupees. I mean, you just kind of like pull the middle away and you'll find it. But what we need to do is go in this upper area. I'm doing this kind of poorly. If you mess up and you pull a boulder down, or I guess a cube, you will squish yourself. I mean, you can see that right there. If you go in there, you get rupees. I'm going to ignore it. But you definitely don't want to squish yourself, because then you have to restart. Just go ahead and do this. Now these rats can be pretty annoying. I like his description. Filthy, thieving rat. So yeah, if they hit you, that was a close one. If they hit you, they'll make you drop a bunch of rupees, but you can pick them back up. They will try and steal some, but you generally won't lose a lot unless you're really bad at this game. Come on, rat. Alright, so yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier, using a weapon, and you can throw it and you just like light on fire, go right in. I think that was a great idea, and just kind of again showing some of the cool new gameplay features of allowing you to use enemy weapons. I mean, there's a lot of weaponry that we get later on that's a lot more unique, a lot more powerful, and we'll be using it in a variety of different ways. So stay tuned for that. For now, we're just going to climb up here. I'll miss the chest, come on. Alright, and we're going to key that we're going to use pretty much right away, right over here. So, just watch out for the rats. If you have bait and you put it by the hole, it will like be nice to you. But I have not purchased any bait yet. It's one thing I forgot to do before I left Windfall Island. I guess I could do it here as well, but I didn't. So, again, another outside area. Not a very long one, but go ahead here. You just scare this guy off. You guys see laid a key, maybe? And we're just going to take that and go right over here. Make sure you don't fall off, because that will suck. Continuing here now, there is a joy pendant necklace right there inside of that chest, which I'm not going to grab because I just don't feel like dealing with those keys. You can kind of run past them and avoid them as much as possible. But if you do want them, go ahead and get them there. But there's so many of them in this game that I generally don't pay any attention to them. Alright, again, I think this room is really cool because it's doing something that's never been done in a Zelda game before. And like, you have to kill the enemies to open the gates. But the enemies are hiding inside of pots and stuff, and they're not like just out there trying to attack you. I don't know what their plan is. If they're sleeping, if they sleep inside of pots, I'm not sure. See, there's another necklace right there. If you kill bokoblins, you generally will get joy pendants quite frequently. There's one more guy. He's in one of these. There he is. Oh, this guy's gonna be a pain. I hate. One thing I don't like is that when they kind of been knocked down, they have this area of invincibility. I do like the that in Twilight Princess you can do the final blow and like just take them out. Where in this I have to wait for them to get back up, and then they have that little period where they can't be hit. Makes things sort of annoying, but because if I'm slashing at you while you're down, you're probably not gonna get up. But I guess Zelda logic. I wouldn't really call it Zelda logic, just kind of flawed slightly. Alright, well these guys, Modorms I believe, are slightly irritating. The best way to kill them is to wait for them to like lunge up, get ready to strike. You'll get that A trigger, do it, and you'll do that jump attack that you just saw me do, and it will just kill them with one hit. Now what you'll notice is that if you just slash at them, they'll just roll up in a ball, which you can actually pick up, and we'll be doing something with them later on at the very end of this video. And they'll be used for a variety of puzzles again throughout the game. But the enemies can be a pain otherwise if you're just trying to take them out in small areas like that little platform right there. If you don't kill them, they will just kind of skirt around and be annoying. Alright, so if you notice at the very beginning of this dungeon, there was this giant boss, vase boss, whatever you want to call it, at the beginning of the dungeon. And what it does is kind of like the Ukos of Twilight Princess. They allow you to like teleport. You go in one side, come out the other. So it's a good way for getting at the start of the dungeon to the end here. And at the end of this episode, I'm actually just going to save and quit where I'm at. And the next video, I'll be taking the vase right there to this spot. So they're very, very convenient. Especially if you end up losing at a boss fight, you can just go right back to where it was with no problems. Anyways, this is the mini boss section I was talking about. Again, taking place outside, actually right underneath the Great Valoon. So we see there's some things going on, like Medli's been captured as she went on without us. If you remember a couple of videos ago. And apparently got captured in the process. Now this fight is really easy. It's just two of these bokoblins and then one moblin that's dropped down. I seem to recall there was more, but when I went and just did this video, I realized that there wasn't. I just for some reason thought that there was more since the last time I played this, but I was wrong. I would like this when they get smacked, they run around in circles like, oh no, just got smacked. And they're not even concentrating on the fact that some kid with a sword trying to kill them. It's like, oh, I'm gonna run around and act weird. I just love how expressive this game is with stuff like that. But anyway, killing moblins is a great way to get skull necklaces. We'll be collecting these throughout the game, as well as those joy pendants. So, all right. I had a little bit of glitch there. My capture card's been acting out. This was actually my second take at this video. The first time I did it, I got to here and my capture card froze. And I realized that half of it had not recorded, so I had to just reset my game. Thankfully I didn't save it, otherwise I would have been starting from scratch and being really annoyed. So I didn't save it, but I did have to redo this dungeon, and I actually went through the dungeon a lot quicker the second time, obviously. But this video actually combined parts of both recordings, just things that I liked better in the first video I cut and put into the second video. stuff like that. So, I mean, hopefully I did a good enough job editing where you won't really notice. Might notice a rupee count being off here or there, but that's about it. And I believe all those cuts were done quite some time ago. There's none from this point on, obviously, since it froze my first time through. But anyways, we got this new item. This item is going to be very important throughout the game. We're going to use it for hauling up treasure from the ocean floor. You guys remember those scuba divers right off of the Dragon Roost Island coast where we got the first treasure chart? They mentioned that we needed it. So we'll be using that to dig up treasure, to reach areas like we've been doing here that you've been just watching me do. Miss, apparently. And then of course we'll be using in the boss fight. Because what kind of Zelda game do you fight a boss without using an item of the dungeon? Except for Skyward Sword. So, and even then you usually do. So this dungeon's kind of coming to a close. What we've got left is just, remember, the stairwell fell as we worked our way up to this mini boss, so we have to take an alternate route back. And I love that this guy's like crawling up. Well, he gets back up and then he kicks and misses and falls back down. But we're just gonna take an alternate route back, in the process grab ourselves the boss chamber key, and that's pretty much it for what's left. If you kill both these guys, you get that chest. Not too hard. What we want to do is actually cut the ropes on this bridge, make it fall. Again, a really cool thing to be able to interact with the environment in such a way. It just, if you're lucky, it will take you down. You won't land in the lava. But go ahead and grab this for another joy pendant. Yep. As I said, these things are everywhere, so don't worry if you skip some. Alright, so we've been in this room before, which is a different part, different level, per se. Come on, drop. Here we go. Again, it's just, this area is kind of just a way to get a feel for using a claw shot, so it's very claw shot friendly. For the rest of the dungeon, it's very extensive use of it, just to familiarize you with it, because you will be using it in the boss fight. Now what we need to do is open this, look around, it's like, oh, the door's locked, what's to do? You look up, see the button, make sure you look up. I can see how this would be easy to just like not see and skip. But you just swing on it and that will pretty much do it. Your weight works. Now what you need to do is turn around. I guess if you want to do like a back jump, you can, but I'm not going to try it. Hopefully. I'm glad those keys don't knock you off. That would be really annoying if they knocked you off by hitting you. Alright, so, and when you're attached to things, as you just saw, you can like readjust yourself, change your angle, climb up and down the rope to get better like jump and everything. So there's nothing over there, so we're gonna skip that and just turn this way. I'm gonna give myself a little bit longer of the rope to get a better jump, and definitely swing a few times to make sure you make it. Alright. Nope, smacking the wall. Again, at the end of this video, I'm just going to kind of get the boss key, and then that's it. In the next video, I'll be picking up, entering the boss chamber, and doing all of that jazz. So, stay tuned for that. This is the room where you get the boss key, and as I mentioned earlier with these Modorms, you want to kill them, or like you want to smack them but not kill them, where they roll up in a ball. You have this switch that if you stand on it, the fire goes down, but if you stand off it, it comes back up, so you need to use this guy in its curl up shape that will allow you to put pressure on the switch and open the chest. And it's as easy as that, and that's pretty much going to conclude this video. So stay tuned for the next video where I will face off against Goma, the boss of Dragon Roost Cavern. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and leave some comments. Thanks everybody.